Games on Krack.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Games on
Yes, sir.
Krack.
Just the sound of his voice ahead. Y'all niggas got me really confused out there. Make big.
Y'all know what type of time we on. Games on Krack. Season 2. Episode 11. Yeah, boy, we still going hard.
I'm really confused y'all on this one.
I got the whole squad with me.
When the tops come down, chicks tops come
Who I
down.
got
When them
across
shots
from
come
me.
out, make cops come around. When them blocks come out, I can wake up a small
Nigga, get on the mic and
Get on the fucking mic, Finn.
Ain't I on the mic?
You are now. We couldn't hear you.
I was about to say, ain't I on the mic? It's Finn in this motherfucker. What the fuck you want me to say? Yeah, nigga. Turn it up, nigga. Who we got on the motherfucking board?
We got your mans. Y-O-N. Y-O-U. Yeah, I fucked up, right? It's like the Murder Inc. shit. Let's do this over. Let's do it over.
We got my nigga Yanni. Fuck.
Y-O-U-N-G-S-L-A-P-Z. Slaps in the building.
All right.
Make some noise for yourselves, man. Welcome. We here. We here.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the GOK, Jay-Z. Hey, that ignorant shit. Shout out to Beans. Where that nigga Beans at? Where Beans at? Where Beans at?
I started it over.
Made my more rounds.
I started it over. I'm sorry.
Are you sure
Yeah.
he's the GOAT? Are you sure?
Did you just ask? Alright, cut this off. Nah, forget it. It took too long to get me the beans. Nah, beans.
Big whoop. Want to fight about it?
Pussy.
Yeah. Jay-Z is the greatest rapper of all time. If you want to start there, I don't know where's the debate.
I was just talking shit.
Oh, listen to this nigga.
Just being an asshole.
Thought you were gonna bring some hot takes.
I was just being an asshole.
Some hot take content.
Nah,
NFL hoes.
Yeah, he kind of did some hoe shit with that, but hey.
What?
I don't agree, but
Nah.
you know,
Yeah, I don't know.
we not going down that rabbit hole. We got video games to talk about.
Talk about it, bro.
Yeah. No. If you sticking around, we'll bring it up.
Yeah, I disagree. I don't know.
Sticking around, we'll bring it up.
All right.
Yeah. It's not Games on Krack content, but just know Jay-Z's the GOAT, and motherfuckers got to deal with
My
it.
bad, man. I talked wrong.
You heard me?
Let's get to the video games.
Bang,
then.
bang,
Yo.
bang, bang.
So,
bang, bang.
back in the building, man. Yo, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter,
Twitch.
Twitter.
Instagram,
Got the Twitter going.
Twitch.
Tweeting.
We're there. Everywhere. Check out Games on Krack on all platforms. Instagram, Twitter, at Games on Krack. Search Games on Krack on Facebook and YouTube. We are anchor.fm/Games on Krack for all of our episodes. We're also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Yo, man, we back one time for your motherfucking mind. And you know how we like to start these things off. What are we playing?
Who's starting? Well, I'm playing I am playing Sword and Shield, Pokemon, and a little bit of NBA 2K. You know that's always in the rotation.
Now, because Pokemon is a lot of talk has been on the internet regarding I guess players' dissatisfaction with the end game and whatnot. You guys are relatively early in the story.
Yeah, I didn't rush through it like some of these people did.
Yeah. It was something I saw a lot on the internet. You have a personal anecdote with Ron, just basically
just speeding through the game. Yeah, I got it for him the day it came out. So he didn't get his hands on it. Here's the crazy shit. So he didn't get his hands on it because he didn't have a Switch in my house. So he didn't get to play till Saturday. So he played it all day Saturday, all day Sunday. He was done before school Monday, which is crazy. Which is crazy and boring.
Yeah,
because I know you didn't experience a lot of the game the way you played it. There's no way you did.
Off on maybe like a tangent, but have y'all ever played games like that?
No.
Ever?
Like to get
like
through it as soon as I
yeah.
can. I've tried, like depending on the game, but a lot of the time, if I feel like if I really enjoy a game, I don't like to feel like I gotta rush through it. Like I
was about to say, in any situation where you may have, is it because you didn't enjoy the game or?
It was because most of the time it be if it's a game that the story is good, but I done kind of got burnt out on the gameplay, then like I don't ever just start a game with the intent of like, yo, I got to get through this shit as soon as I can.
That's more so like getting burned out with the game, opposed to like. It sound like what Slaps is saying. Like,
seem like a lot of kids are like that though. They just want to
just see.
They just want to beat some shit. Yeah.
But I mean,
beat it.
If you think about it though, it's like we always be talking about how we got a backlog and shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like some of these younger kids, they don't necessarily like to have that. Like they, and then they also ain't got as many games, so it's like. You know what I'm saying?
I remember coming up.
That's why I would not speed through shit.
Yeah,
because now Ron don't have shit to play now.
Well, actually, that might be why. Like when y'all just say like Fortnite ain't got no end game, it's like that's the main game niggas is playing. So it's like these single player joints, like or like Pokemon or something, is something where it might be like they secondary game. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got like, I feel like a lot of younger, like at least the people that I see play. They usually got like a main game. They play like Call of Duty or 2K or something, and then like I see niggas play shit here and there. But it's more so just to get the
weirdest shit. Cause like my secondary option. All right, well let's see. Cause I still like even in the days where like I was playing Call of Duty heavy, if a single player game that I wanted to play came out, I'd dedicate my time to that. Until my niggas hopped on and, you know what I'm saying, wanted to play a little bit of Call of Duty. But even then, I'd be like, yo, I'm playing this right now. You know, I'll fuck with y'all niggas like later or tomorrow on this shit. I kind of wanted to get through, you know what I'm saying, get through that story and not get rushed through it either. Because there's so much content in games now. Like, I mean, you can miss shit. Yeah, the story be quick, but they give you enough little side mission type shit to do to where you don't have to. But if the way you could take your time with it, man, have a good time.
I don't even know.
Because now he backtracking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know if we play the game in the same manner.
We don't.
Right.
Yeah, like,
because they, like a lot of kids might not even know. Like, all right, if I see something, it might signal. Like, a lot of kids might not even look for Easter eggs. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Like, it might just be some straight up. Like, they just want to experience the story and shit. So, I mean,
but damn, like a lot of times you can't even get immersed into the story without some of that side shit. And like, sometimes it gotta be a little difficult too, cause you not kind of like in games like, let's say you need to level your character up a bit and you not doing them side quests that give you XP. It gotta be a tougher battle for you.
Yeah,
along the road, or you just putting that shit down.
I was about to say
Like-
the question because a lot of people don't finish games, so it's like I feel like that's usually the case. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I would be interested to know how many kids are playing like Jedi Fallen Order, like for example, like which is a game that's like it's not. I guess you would say it's not aimed at kids, but I say it would be like kids accessible. You know what I'm saying? Star Wars, family movie type. You know what I'm saying? Kids love Jedi.
I've been
I
telling
feel
my
like-
kids, like, bro,
But
y'all
nah.
get this. Tell y'all parents
Dude,
grab
but
the
I
Star
would
Wars,
be-
bro. Y'all
Is
will
kids
love
a
it.
Star Wars? I mean, is Star Wars a kids like?
They love it, bro. It's Star
Disney,
Wars
bro.
books
Like,
and
I was
shit
about
in the
to say, like,
libraries, at
have you
schools, at the
ever-
elementary schools
Have
and
you
shit.
seen what be going on like at that Star Wars theme shit at what is it, Disneyland?
Mhm.
Like niggas can't even get in there.
Yeah,
Like,
kids love it, bro. A little third grader, like his book of choice to read to the class was a Star Wars book. They fuck with it.
Yeah,
I put on Facebook
parents
that little boy
indoctrinate their
kept wanting to
kids
talk to
early,
me about
bro.
the Mandalorian, and I'm like, can you leave me the fuck alone right now? Like, bro, it's only so much we can talk about, my nigga. It's only been
Right.
one episode. Go sit down.
Yeah.
Go sit your ass down.
Yeah, they get to it.
Yeah,
early.
they fuck with it.
But I would be interested to see just like the segment of gamers who are, you know what I'm saying, maybe like 12 and under who play that game. Or we even go 15 and under playing that game compared to, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these games and service games like maybe Call of Duty or Fortnite
Oh,
or you know what I'm saying, that type of, I don't know.
It's weird because Ryan ain't even finished.
And that's what I'm
Red
saying.
Dead.
Like I don't know if
Like-
it's just because I don't know if it's just because like kids are incentivized differently in playing Fortnite, and if Fortnite is the first thing that you're exposed to, you're entering like a damn near an economy that operates almost, I won't say outside of the game, but it's like almost like another element to the game is like the economy, the V-Bucks and the skins and this level of instant gratification of being able to unlock these things. I don't know if kids are playing more now to have that
I can't just pay for this.
unlocking experience where they can just get a whole bunch of things that they want and kind of play the game that they want instead of going by, I guess, the constraints that a developer that we're cool with. Like we good. Like I love, you know, the narrative, you know what I'm saying, epic sprawling tale across like the earth or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I like the big, you know, stories and shit like that with my games, but
I mean,
I don't know if those things are like holding on
I'm gonna
or
be
holding
real.
the attention of like younger gamers.
what's the last like really good story that's just accessible for like the average? Like I feel like a lot of this stuff that come out now is like you kind of gotta have a background in it. Like it's not a lot of like
Assassin's
casual.
Creed Origins.
I don't feel like you gotta have no, because like I was playing Final Fantasy 7 like without no, like when you pick up like certain games like Metal Gear Solid was like a game like I
That's
didn't have no.
But that's what I'm saying.
Type
That's
of-
those are like legacy franchises. I'm saying what's the
I'm
last?
saying, but I'm illustrating the point of when I was a kid and actually playing games for like the first time. I didn't have no background in like other type. Like I would just want to play different games. If I saw like a game, especially like in the magazines, like if they was talking about games that like were even in genres that I had never even like experienced, I would at least want to try it just to see if like it's some shit that I like. Like I don't know if
I mean, that's one thing that you cut out then because it's like don't nobody read like I'm pretty sure most kids don't read like GameSpot magazine, anything like that.
but they watch YouTube. So I'm saying like there's a media source that can tell you like the dope shit that you can.
You know what? I
At
think
the
if a
point
lot
that
of these streamers that kids like, play these different games, kids will probably hop on.
That's
them.
what it's like a
Fucking
thing where
followers.
it's like it's like everybody doing the same thing. Like that's why I brought up like, you know, cutting out as far as like niggas don't get that magazine thing anymore, because like most of the time the creators now, they not looking to, like, they don't base their channel off of we giving you different experiences. It's what can I do that's gonna draw the most people. So it's usually people are trying to find.
I'm saying I get why niggas do it. I'm saying like there is nothing that you can like point to where it was like, I feel like there's a point in time where the industry shifted to I feel like the industry has slowly been trying to shift off of like single player experiences to this different type of gameplay. And though that's the hot gameplay at the time, it still seems like there is a reluctance to, you know, go outside of one sphere, I guess, like, you know what I'm saying, of what's comfortable for gamers. And I guess like, yeah, they don't have like magazines or anything, but like I guess back in the day, like when I just would hear about a fire game, like I want to play it. I don't know if like gaming even,
I was about to say,
I don't know if gaming is even like set up like that no more.
Because it's, I mean, that's a symptom of like, I guess the industry just getting bigger, because as things get more commercialized, it's like people start taking less risks and they start, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't as many opportunities for people to, like, people don't look at it. And this was kind of like something that I was thinking on my own, as far as like, I wanted to bring it up for a topic, is like, should gaming really be for everybody? Because I feel like the more that, you know, I feel like as gamers, we always grew up like wanting more people to embrace like this, like gaming and like tech and things like that. And I feel like people are starting to now, but I feel like it's starting to be a thing where it's always this one size fits all type of approach, where people don't like making new game mechanics or like things like that. So we end up getting a lot of the same brands, but we get it in a different package. You know what I'm saying? And it just, or not, it be different brands, but in the same package. I spoke backwards. So it's like, it's a lot of open world games, or it's like the flavor of the month, like as far as like what the design principle is. So it's like, I don't know if, basically I think that that's just a effect of that, like from the video game industry just growing and seeing like, all right, like with Grand Theft Auto, when the third one came out, it's like, all right, this just sold so much, let's try and follow this. When they did the online, like as far as like introducing online, like with Xbox Live and shit like that, people start trying to figure out, all right, how can we like implement this type of system so that we can, you know what I'm saying, make money off of it. When they start making money, and then YouTube, boom, to where it's like I said, the creators, they want to make bread. So it's like, all right, I might want to play whatever game, but we'd had them conversations where it's like creators feel like they can't move on to a different game because, you know what I'm saying,
I wanted to ask about that.
Yeah.
You see how people are leaving Mixer, Twitch, and things like that. Do you think these people are leaving? Do you think the companies that they're leaving to go to are going to have them playing a different assortment of games? So we know Ninja went over to Xbox, and I can't imagine that they're not going to push him to play things that are going to, you know.
Yeah, they've
so they're going to push him.
They had him on the.
They're going to have him on Halo for sure. But yeah, they're going to be having him on
that.
that shit that's like exclusive to Xbox,
Right.
so that people go over to play it. So I can't imagine that a nigga's leaving one place like, oh, I play Fortnite here. Now let me go over to Facebook Gaming and play more just Fortnite. Like, I don't think that's the key. And right now, like, honestly, from like what I'm hearing from kids and shit like that, I mean, the Fortnite shit is kind of starting to fade off. Like they still play it, but kids are starting to say like, yo, this shit Fortnite trash. Like they starting to tell other kids like that shit trash. You still playing that? Like we moving on to other shit right now. So like I don't know. Niggas gonna have to keep up because like I'm starting to hear the Fortnite is trash, and I'm like, oh,
But
really? And it's not like we playing Apex. It's like, no, nigga, we playing other shit. We're not playing. We're not playing this right now.
I think that that's a valid point, but also I think Fortnite done had that happen a few times where like people was looking at it like, man, Fortnite dead. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like I don't really talk to as many kids because I'm not around kids right like at this point in my life. Like I used to, like I think I said it before. I used to work at a school, so like I did used to see like what kids was into.
And shit,
you know what I'm saying? But as far as I know, like off of YouTube, because I do watch a couple of people I watch, they in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like it be streamers that be like super young that, you know what I'm saying, they make good content. So they usually, a lot of the time, people will bring up is Fortnite dead. As soon as they do that, usually Fortnite is smart about figuring out like, all right, how can we loop people back in? And like even with the chapter 2 shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like niggas was getting kind of tired of it then, but when they did that, everybody went back to it and played it a little bit. At least anybody that like is, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Fortnite is like how Call of Duty is for like the way we was talking about Call of Duty, where it's like I know for me, I might not play it for a long ass time, but if they put out some cold shit, I'ma play it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Fortnite is kind of like that cornerstone to like the next generation of like gamers, but it's like even in a stronger way. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like I said, I don't have as much feedback from like kids to speak definitively on it.
Well, I think it's important that we over at GOK do our part and just try to
put niggas hip to shit, like do some Let's Plays, like check this shit out, man. Quit
different
playing other
types of
shit.
games. Because I mean, it is, and I don't want to come off judgmental of like what the kids is playing and shit like that, like all the time, every episode. But I feel like a lot of experiences, and when we're in this climate where games are making so much money, and I think publishers are kind of forced to have to copy each other and copy just content wise, just like service model wise. You get a lot of the same shit. And when you have, I think we're in a real dangerous climate right now. I just seen this like when I was leaving to do the podcast, but I think the CEO of Blizzard had an interview recently, and they was talking about the China controversy and everything. It wasn't just that, but I think it was like, to paraphrase it, it was really an interview that showed these people don't really care about the creatives within the industry. It's definitely the money. And because there are so many opportunities, especially the way that they monetize these games now, where you can have, and I think in these publishers' eyes, these are shit. We can talk about BioWare, what they thought about with Anthem. They had a 10-year plan for that game. And you see what the fuck the shit, you know, it's fucked up right now. So,
I ain't even touch Anthem, nigga, and I was excited
Anthem,
for it at first, too.
So, yeah, they had.
When I first seen Anthem, I'm like,
that's what I'm
this
saying.
shit gonna be legit.
But
I ain't never even pick it up.
And we're going to talk about this with the Google Stadia. It's developers are being forced to not only homogenize, I guess, like these ideas and shit, but in addition to that, they're not getting opportunities, I think, to think outside the box. That's why you'll see like was it IO Interactive? They left who was it? Square Enix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like publishers, I feel like there's this thing between publishers and developers where the developers are pressured to do these types of games, and nobody's really speaking up on the developer side to bring light to this. But you can see it with the games that come out. Like, we talk about it all the time. It's a bit stale. Like, a lot of the great games that come out are legacy franchises. There aren't many new things coming out.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But I also be feeling like maybe that's part of it too, because people don't really have, like, kids don't have them franchises to necessarily gravitate towards it.
Yeah,
Be
they
like,
got
this is
all our old
ours.
shit. They got all our old shit, basically.
Yeah. So,
And like I said, I feel like it is on publishers. Publishers have been like consistently pushing a lot of just old ideas and what will make them the most money. And it's not necessarily what will be long-lasting franchises or
right.
what has a chance to change the industry. If you look at innovation, like pure innovation, like what have we really gotten?
Like, they'll take a franchise that actually is like good and
Shit
try
on
to
it.
run.
Yeah,
Mass
trash it
Effect,
up.
nigga. Like Mass Effect.
Or even like Metal Gear and shit. Like,
Metal Gear is another one.
because people forget. Well, I ain't gonna say people forget, but like that Metal Gear Survive came out and it was like, the fuck? Like, how you gonna come out? First off, how you gonna come
I
out
ain't
with a Metal
touched that.
Gear game without Kojima like
I don't.
leading it?
I think people might even forget about the fact that he was kind of pushed out towards the end of
Right.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah,
like he
that's
didn't
a
really
fact.
finish up that game.
I didn't either.
And yeah, and a lot of people say that's why the story is the way it is, like that there isn't a real definitive conclusion to that story.
Right.
I don't know. It's a weird time, I feel like, to try to make games, especially in these systems with when crunch has been such an issue, and we've talked about multiple times on the podcast. Just I don't know. Between the lack of creativity and people pushing out products that aren't ready for the market, and we're gonna talk about one of those products, a big product that dropped this past week.
But what are y'all playing? Cause y'all ain't
No,
we ain't got it.
I'm let me cook, nigga.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I just was trying to make sure.
We were staying on task. Thank you.
Yeah,
Fuck him.
I-
Yeah, thank you. Fuck him. Yeah.
No, I was saying, but yeah, we was gonna talk about the Google Stadia a little bit later, but with these video games, man, I'm glad that there are alternatives like the Outer Worlds, like which I've been on. You've been on Jedi, the Fallen Order.
Don't tell niggas what I'm playing.
That's what you've been on.
Don't tell niggas what I'm playing.
That's what you've been on.
Nah, I'm not playing that.
Don't lie. Don't lie. You talking about you love that shit. But no.
Show me.
Nah, bro. I'm not. Hey, we know it's the truth. We know
Show
what the truth
me.
is. But no, nah, man. I feel as though, like I said, it's important, man. I don't know what this next generation is gonna look like with gaming. Recently Xbox came out and talk about they were moving away from games as a service, that model, which I feel like is a good look, just because Microsoft has already kind of struggled in the first party category. They need, I feel like, those type of, experiences, like single player, story based. That's what I think people are missing from their Xbox library currently.
Yeah, you let niggas tell it. Xbox just don't have an assortment of games.
Yeah.
like PS4. That's
it's the best place, I feel like, to play like the third party games. And yeah, they got a light first party lineup. We're gonna talk about the XO19 event because that was a huge disappointment to me. Like, I just want to tell all the listeners and the viewers, like, what type of time we on right now. This is the disappointment part of the show, like, because we going.
It's the sad part.
Yeah, we going.
It's the sad part
all
of the show.
All we doing is going downhill from this point forward, and we're just gonna be talking about a whole bunch of shit that just.
You suck.
God, man. So
let's get it.
So we talking about game libraries. There was a console release this past week, and
you bought it.
It had a whopping.
You went out and
was it 20 games?
Went out
20.
And yeah, it was. I think it was 20 or 22.
22 games.
Yeah, fact check that.
The Google Stadia released November 19th.
Woo!
I'm on fire right now, bullshit.
Oh, Google.
Phil Harrison. Hey, shout out to any of our podcast listeners who've been with us for a while. We had an episode called the Dog episode, in which we talked about Google Stadia, making the claim that they would be more powerful than the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro combined. This is what they came out with, and so far, in addition to just people not being able to play their Stadia yet, because the pre-orders worked in a weird fashion, and people weren't given codes with their Stadia pre-order. Like, you would expect to have a code, already with
the
Stadia
game. Yeah,
pre-order.
sure.
At least these are all assumptions on my behalf. Like, these are some of the things, I guess, like, if I were in that position, I would think this is a good idea. But yeah, they got they didn't get the codes to people on time. November 19th was supposed to be the day, the street release. People who had pre-ordered as early as September hadn't received codes as of earlier this week. I'm not quite sure. I'm hearing that some of the codes are coming back out, but the codes have already come out of order. And one of the big hooks on getting the Stadia and pre-ordering it, the Founders Edition, was to be able to have like a gamer tag first. It's first come, first serve, and you would need your code to activate that. Like I said, these codes started going out of order, so those people that pre-ordered the Stadia were basically fucked and not able to choose at the time. People who, decided to adopt.
Somebody just
later.
was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna buy it, man."
Yeah, and
Like
then
the week,
people were getting their codes a lot quicker than people who had pre-ordered. It's
That's
been
ass.
all over Reddit.
It's kind of weird for Google, man. They seem like a company usually got their shit in order.
And here's
not
the
saying
thing.
this console will be good, but it just seems
Yeah,
like
I
they
mean,
usually
that's
had
the
that type
logic.
of shit in
Honestly,
order.
that's the logic that I had when we was actually like on that episode and we was talking about it. I'm
Google.
like, if anybody is gonna come out the gate like doing the right thing, I'd say it should be Google, because you know what I'm saying. They
And
launched a lot of.
This was my only qualm.
It was a farce.
At the time. At the time, it was. I do gauge people for their sincerity, and I do try to look through corporate speak, and it just seemed like a lot of corporate speak to get people like geeked up about it. Which of course, like you want to have people like hyped up about your product, but I feel like it's important to temper your expectations, not only for yourself, but for consumers. Because when you don't, you have situations like this where you have pissed off consumers who have nothing but hate and vitriol for you, like, online. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like it's ever a good look. I feel like they came out like they was feeling themselves. When you start talking all the teraflops and who's going to have 4K, you're not taking into consideration people's data caps, not taking into consideration
reliable
like,
internet, period. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Like having reliable internet,
what if,
period.
You know what I'm saying? What if, for me, my daughter is listening to Spotify or whatever, or she's streaming like Netflix, and we got 4K TVs. We don't just, like, if she's got 4K content, I got 4K content going. Like,
crazy.
What's going to happen? And honestly, I didn't like a lot of the optics. Phil Harrison, me and Finn talked about this off mic, but he's been behind like 2 other releases that didn't really go well. And Phil Harrison was over at PlayStation for the PS3, which had a hard time, you know, competing with Xbox 360 until the end of the generation. That conference, the high cost of the PS3, that when it came out the gate, a lot of those things were missteps, and not to blame it all on him, but even with the conference, this is really dry conference where they're giving a bunch of tech specs and expecting that to be the only thing, which I don't like Google coming in. This was another thing. Jack Buser, who is, I guess, business director over there, he had some interviews recently, and he was talking about like where gaming was topping out with hardware sales, and he was talking about hundreds of millions, but what if we can get to billions? I just felt like that was an arrogant thing to say. Like, I felt like it was arrogant just to feel as though you're stepping in. I understand you're Google, the tech company, but people have been doing this thing where they've tried to do this everybody's gamers thing. Everybody is not a gamer. Just because you play games doesn't make you a gamer. And I feel like a lot of that messaging has done bad things to the industry. I feel like it has gotten people to a point where, yo, let's monetize. We know it goes back to our last conversation.
They act like shit is like board games.
That's why
Uno
I
and
said,
shit.
should
Like,
everybody be? Should gaming be for everybody?
It's not.
Because
It's
not.
No, it's not.
We see it's not.
And that's my thing.
Because it gives everybody the ability to be like, hey, my opinion is, even if you're not a real gamer,
exactly, your opinion shouldn't count.
You saying basically anybody that we want everybody to join in. So if you don't like it, give me a reason why you don't like it, so we can fix it and make you be the one that like we monetize.
It's like
Everybody can't come up here.
It's like your focus group. You're trying to expand your focus group to people who
they never gonna like your shit. Anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't share the interest of gaming. Like, and it's not to be on the game snob shit. It really is like there's certain people who watch basketball casually.
Right.
There's other people who watch basketball and can tell you, you know what I'm saying?
And everything,
yeah,
nigga.
like tell you everybody on the
know the stats from '99, nigga.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like so yeah, that might be like a casual fan, but they gonna drift in and out. Your core is who you should care about. In gaming, like I don't know where it's gone to a point where the consumer isn't looked at first instead of looking at like, or trying to push people to technology. Like that's how I felt it was coming across too. It's like, don't force me to say like, yo, this is the best way to game, because I enjoy my console. I have no problem trying out a service and seeing like, hey, this is a different type of way to game. Like, yeah, let's do that shit. Like, we like doing different types of things.
But don't just assume that I'm gonna fuck with this shit just because you're Google,
and just because you're a tech giant, and just because you have Phil Harrison. Like, I don't care about that. What about the games? Like, what's the killer app? They have one console exclusive. One.
What is that too?
It's called Guilt. I I guess like a.
Oh, they had some guilt.
It's like a.
You blew it!
It's like a. I guess
Fuck
like
outta
a
here.
thriller type game. I don't know. Like a. I don't know, man. Like it didn't look appealing at all. It's basically, from what I've heard, a good game. It's been getting 7s and 8s. You know, a decent game. But
It
that's
ain't
not
the-
what you
This
launching
is
with.
what I'm buying this shit for. This ain't Sonic Adventure style
And it's just
type
like
shit.
certain things. Like I don't like these companies trying to finesse us, man. And nobody is talking about. I don't know why it seems like people are too pussy to talk about it that are in the industry.
But this
That's
is
how niggas
all
be
right,
in the
here
industry.
go my question
We
for
got
you.
the food
then.
industry.
Or
This is my
the
question.
media.
Though.
So then hold on. Because Slaps make a good point. Once you in the industry, you can't say anything because you gotta keep your fucking job,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Where's the media at to say like, yo, Google, what the fuck? A lot
It's
of
like
a lot
people
of
don't
these
really
reviews,
understand that it's strength in numbers. You're not the only person that feel the way other niggas feel. So like if you in the industry, like that's why certain industries they have these little coalitions, I guess you could say, that have to speak up on behalf
Yeah.
of everybody who won't fucking speak up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, we don't need to do this. You know what I'm saying? And people feel like they don't need to do this. So it needs to be somebody that takes control of that. Is it anything like that in the gaming industry? I don't think so.
know. And-
Like kind of
and
like
the thing is,
like a board of people who speak out for the people. You know, it's always
not
somebody
that.
who speaks for the fucking people. Like, no, I don't think we need to be
No,
doing this shit. You
I
know what
don't
I'm
think-
saying?
and-
It's nobody like that.
I was gonna say because all right,
How would there even be something like that when it's like, because all right, this is my question, because all right, you look at it as arrogance. You know me, I'm always play devil's advocate, and I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? As far as the principle, like you don't come out as a company that hasn't done a thing before and say, oh, we about to revolutionize and basically do it better than anybody that has the experience. All right, never mind. I ain't even about to ask that question because I just talked myself out of the question.
No, ask
With
about
that.
it. What's good? That's
What
a
up,
cold
bro?
ass coat, man.
so yeah, I was about to say you was about to get in your. I'm about to just bring up an argument.
Nah, I just thought that was a legit argument, but then when I actually stated it, it didn't sound as good.
Dre ain't having it. As long as I'm here to play devil's advocate.
My question was, I mean, I feel like my question's still valid. Like, what if them niggas just came at it on some, like, we just trying to be enthusiastic and, like, put that
But that's
energy
like-
towards trying to be, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't,
You
it
do
ain't
that,
really-
you gotta
saying,
get
like,
people,
so,
you gotta get the
okay,
influencers
so-
to play this other shit. If you know that they have influence,
So, yeah, I get, all right.
you
we
gotta
can
get
frame
these
it.
niggas to
We
want to
can frame
play
it like this. How would you rather them, like, came out? Because
Google
obviously,
Stadia.
that's
Not
the
to come
real
out.
question that I'm asking. It's not to,
Not to fucking come out.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
saying,
listen,
like,
listen.
without that being an option.
I love
like,
their idea, bro. Like
Yeah,
I
that's all-
love it. I love the idea of being able
because
to.
It's about,
But that shit gotta
messaging.
work
That's all-
perfectly. You know what I'm saying?
all right, let me just kind of because like I said, I just want to make it clear I'm not on some like just being contrary. I'm asking because a lot of the time we say y'all did this shit wrong, but we don't tell niggas in the gaming industry in general like, yo, this is how we want you to do it. So that's kind of my, not necessarily us. I'm saying like in a general sense, I don't think that people think in the sense of, yo, let's try and improve it, or like let's try and
Maybe not in the general sense, just because it's like the internet, so it's going to trend negative anyway. But it's just a way. It's optics and messaging, and you don't have to say like we're more powerful than these two systems. I would prefer show me games, show me what you're. The new shit that they was doing with their tech, because that was the thing, like, when I was first seeing the information as far as the things that they could do, I was like, oh, this is some cool little shit. it wasn't until I started seeing like, oh, you have to pay full price for the Stadium games and pay for the $10 to get 4K, you know, the 4K 60.
Right.
It's things like that aren't good for the consumer, or how it's out right now, missing about 4 or 5 major features that they said they'd have at launch, or how they said that November 19th everybody could play it, and that wasn't the case at all.
But don't that happen? Like, all right, like I said,
I'm saying it happening. That's the problem. People let that happen on a smaller level with like video games.
So that's all right. So that's the next
I don't
question.
like that. Yeah, I don't co-sign that shit at all either.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like there's a lot of shit in the video gaming industry that when people are looking for change, like in the automobile industry or housing or like, let me think of something that's more, like less important to your life, like a leisure thing. Like with movies, I feel like people don't communicate their issues in the same way as when people have issues with video games. So my I guess my overall point, regardless of like how I stated, my overall point is, what could we as gamers try and organize, which like y'all already brought up a couple of things, but I feel like what would be the things that we would need to do in order to like really drive it into like a company's mind, this is what we want, or because I feel like we don't
late, bro. Like I genuinely feel like it's too fucking late for that, because you said it.
It ain't too late, but if we started it, we ain't about to.
The industry
It'll be the generation like after us that'll kind of be able to benefit from it more so.
The industry at large has gotten to a point in which they're making too much money. They're making too much money, and how they've tried to push the narrative that everybody's gamers, they can get like a crazy motherfucker to spend thousands of dollars on like Candy Crush. There are like algorithms and shit. There's technology that exposes how to make a game more addictive.
Right. They
You know
say,
what I'm
but
saying?
that's psychological more so. Like,
But I'm saying
And
like
that-
this
that's
has
what I'm s-
infiltrated. That
But-
wasn't the game back in the 80s.
but
Like
that's what I mean. I feel like gaming is unique in the fact that there's no other like industry that's like that. You know what I'm saying? So I just had trouble when we talk about stuff like that. I feel like, all right, what Google Stadia did, I don't see it like being past like Microsoft to do the same exact thing. It's just that they haven't
Microsoft-
failed in that on that level.
Microsoft
Sony the
didn't
same way
launch-
for me.
If Microsoft wouldn't have a system right now if they launched the way Google launched this way.
They don't have a system either.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like to say like you can't compare it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like there had to be a point in time where Sony was like, "Yo, this is our first system." Just like with Microsoft, this is our first system.
Right.
These niggas are still here. And yeah, there's been bumps and shit. Like niggas didn't do things perfectly out the gate. But you know what Xbox had? They had Halo. You know what I'm saying? Like they had some shit that was gonna change the game. Like a lot of these niggas had things to change the game
So if
when they first
they
came
had,
in.
if they had it, all right.
And while
Because-
streaming, like while cloud-based gaming, like that's cool. And like I'm tired of kind of like the narrative, like a lot of people are pushing like right now, like, hey, it works. Like, but fuck all that. But what about all this shit that they said it was going to do that it just doesn't do? Or just how Google has been completely like elusive in answering like any type of criticism to anything.
Yeah, they ain't said shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it be shit like that. See, because you can come out and fuck up. Get back.
Just fix it.
You know what I'm saying? Xbox, this past generation, they fucked up with the Connect, all that shit. You see where they are right now with Game Pass and all this shit that they're setting themselves up for next generation for the Scarlet to have more good faith. They started off horribly at the beginning of this generation.
That's facts.
So it's not like gamers are like unforgiving and won't even give you a shot. But it's like, humble your fucking self. Like you have no history in this shit, and you're trying to act like you're going to revolutionize this shit. You can't even get your shit to work.
Right.
That shit is ridiculous.
Like I said, it's a fair point. I just be looking at it as, how do we avoid it? Like, that's the reason why I ask them questions. It's not to make excuses. It's more so to like be like, all right.
And that's why it's tough, because it's on the consumer and it's on the developer. It's on the media. To really be like, yo.
And I think that's
you niggas is hoes for doing this shit. But
IGN
just took fucking money for these niggas. They just did like fucking 8 or 9 videos like about Google,
right,
that were fluff pieces basically.
And it's like they'll say.
Then they brought in this new plant tech editor. Like, seems really strange you bring in this new tech editor just around the time that this Google shit is dropping, and you get the bag from Google to be doing this advertisement shit, and you're supposed to be like the biggest media outlet.
That's what I wouldn't want
games.
Niggas doing with games either. Like I know how I said I want like a lot of these influencers to play like different video games, but I don't want niggas like, hey, this new Star Wars drop, we gonna give you all this money.
People are
play that
people
shit.
Do that shit though.
Yeah,
like,
people are doing
that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's
this is going down
paid.
now.
Yeah.
They're not getting paid for it. They're getting access to all these events that like.
No, the Ninja deal is that, bro. That's what the Ninja deal is.
I mean.
Essentially, Shroud just went over there. Like,
I thought he was more.
I don't want them playing
paid.
trash games. Let's put it like, don't want these niggas like, hey,
It
play
won't-
this trash.
I trust
play this
Microsoft,
garbage.
I trust Microsoft
With Ninja, yeah, I think they're gonna do a
trust
good
Microsoft
job.
to have more integrity to just be like, yo, this is our first party game, and even though it's some bullshit, yo, play this and get these kids to, you know what I'm saying, follow you.
I mean, they would have him play like, because if he would have been around when Sea of Thieves came out, you think he wouldn't have been playing that?
Oh,
But Sea of
man.
Thieves,
And promoting it?
Sea of Thieves wasn't
Niggas on that
like,
wave,
that's what I was about to
niggas on
say.
that Sea of
From what
Thieves
I've
wave,
seen-
they got like a dog ass fan
No,
base.
I'm not
Yeah, that's
saying
what
that.
I'm
that's
asking,
what-
no, because they
no,
got like DLC and shit to be
Yeah, that's-
dropping. It'd be
from what
like,
I've
yo, what are
seen,
y'all
like,
niggas doing?
But that's
people
what
have
I'm
enjoyed
saying.
that
It's
game.
like,
that's not like a track. I'm talking about something that's like just not
Good.
Yeah, something that you ain't got no business promoting to the people.
Did you play Sea of Thieves? Because that shit, like, a lot of people was upset about that shit.
I was upset as fuck, but I haven't played it now. Like, is it any different now? Like, when I
haven't
thought
played it recently.
when I was on some Sea of Thieves shit, I'm like, hey, me and my niggas, I'm about to be with y'all niggas. We about to be motherfucking pirates. We about to go crazy.
Like,
But
that's what I'm saying. Who
but
did you
that's
play it with?
But that's what I'm saying. I played it with a few people. You know who I
did you-
played. So I got to name the people
No,
that I
I'm
played with.
saying like, in addition,
Like,
what
Them
is
niggas might
what
be
point
whack.
are you? What point are you illustrating like right now? I'm
the
saying,
point
like,
that
to
I'm
bring up
illustrating
Sea of
is
Thieves.
that, like, other companies have did similar things. Like, all I'm saying, like, I just brought up Sea of Thieves is like, that's something, like, that's a game that came out where people were like largely dissatisfied by it. And all I'm saying is, if they would have been at the time that Sea of Thieves came out, my view on it is, when Sea of Thieves came out, streaming wasn't necessarily built to be as big as what it is right now. Like, it was like, I feel like during the summertime, that was when it really broke. Because I think in the spring, that was when the whole Drake playing with Ninja type shit happened. So they saw, all right, this person paid Drake and they were able to do this. So with enough promotion, you know what I'm saying, we can, you know what I'm saying, get this, like, we can make this profitable.
Prophesy.
Once they did that, then it's like, all right. And like I said, I just feel like whatever first party game they come out with, because they knew Sea of Thieves was trash, but they tried to make it like that shit was sweet. We had to actually get it and find out a lot of the features that they talking about we was going to be able to do, we can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit that Stadia, like we talking about with Stadia. Obviously, it's hardware, so it's a little bit different. But it's still the same principle of getting a product that was like nothing near what niggas promised.
I'm saying we said like that happened with software like a lot. I'm saying
I'm just saying as far as the stream, because we was talking about streaming. So I'm saying, like, because you made the point, you was like,
I'm saying
you trust Microsoft.
Niggas was already streaming. Like, that's what I'm saying. Niggas stream that game. Like, because I'm kind of confused about the Sea of Thieves shit, because, like, niggas that still has, like, a fan base. So it might have been, like, a very vocal crowd like on that game that was like, yo, we don't like this, that, or
People
or the
didn't
other,
play
but
it for a long time.
I'm saying, but how do people go to that game and like them niggas still putting out DLC? It's obviously still something that people fuck with. That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't look at Sea of Thieves like that because that has like a core fan base of niggas that's still playing.
So
and
because
active.
them niggas said, okay, y'all niggas complaining, we actually gonna fix it. Like that's okay.
It wasn't.
Like that's
I'm saying
basically
like
what
what
they
are we?
did.
That's not. I'm saying like that's not on. You're talking about on the subject of streaming. I'm saying like with Ninja playing Xbox first party exclusives, and I'm talking about like first party putting out a game that is not quality and running with that game as like their game, like what they're trying to get all the people to. Like I don't see like how that's like the same. Like that would be like the same thing with like
That's what all I was saying was like I could see Microsoft or Sony doing that. Like dropping a game and putting a lot behind it, making it like is
Gonna be epic, and then it's not.
Like they really thought that shit was gonna be. Like,
That's what I was
don't think
saying. Like,
Xbox
that's what I don't
dropped
want
Sea of
niggas
Thieves
doing.
on some like, yo, this shit ain't done. Like I really feel like they was on some like, yo, this is dope. Niggas is gonna fuck with it. All I'm saying is, what if Stadia really thought they had something? You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying in addition to that is basically like with like an IGN or something, with them getting paid to like, you know what I'm saying, to cover shit. I feel like there are streamers that actually do that now. I feel like they've been doing that shit for a minute. Like even as far as like any nigga that really like be on YouTube watching like gamer niggas, they know about Raid Shadow Legends, where niggas was promoting that shit and it was like a trash ass like phone RPG game. Like, and this is like big channels, you know what I'm saying, that like they play Destiny or like Call of Duty or something. And niggas is promoting this shit like on some like, yo, use my code and you can get blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't watch Ninja or whatever. I really ain't never watched him. But he might have even had one of them ads at one point. You know what I'm saying? But these be like even with Shroud, I know for a fact he had like them little started a video ads. And it ain't always for a game that's quality. So the only
that's
thing
just
that
the average. I get that. Like
that was the only point that I was trying to make,
but
was just
I'm saying for me, I don't see, because it hasn't happened. Like I haven't seen like, I guess I've never seen like, there might be like a slate of games and like maybe all of them don't turn, because we've seen like niggas boost the game. You remember that game Too Human?
Yeah.
Like I remember that was like, because we've even seen that in media, like that was like on a Game Informer cover. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why the fuck is this a cover story? This game ends up getting like a 6.5 like
right.
once it comes out. So yeah, there's always like there's like this weird shit with integrity in the video game industry that has been a thing.
Not to like cut you off, but keeping that in mind, I also feel like we don't necessarily punish the offenders of doing that shit enough. Yeah. So it give people like Google the ability, like if they are being on some like shiesty shit, they could be like, yo, we just gonna promote the fuck out of this shit. Have a few games that niggas want to play, you know what I'm saying? Because even with Red Dead, like nobody's gonna go to Rockstar and be like, yo, why did y'all put like all of y'all promotion with Google Stadia knowing that it was gonna be like this? Like y'all had to have an inkling of what the system was gonna be like. So, but nobody actually went to Rockstar and was like, yo, this shit ain't right. And then usually what happens is now, because they do have the ability to patch shit, they'll be like, yo, we ain't like either. Like, yeah, I said earlier, okay, they could be on some shit like, yo, this shit might be it. But they also could be on some shit like, yo, we already know this shit ain't really sweet, but nigga, we can patch it in 3 months. All we got to do is just promote it, make sure niggas already have the game, drop the
That's what they
shit.
was trying to
Yeah,
do.
I mean, we get that with games. Period.
Niggas was
Niggas
trying
will
to do
drop
that shit
like
with Anthem. Like, that's what
yeah,
I'm
they
saying.
drop
Anthem
shit
is
and they be
the
like, we'll
biggest-
patch it, we'll give you this, we'll
but
give you
people
DLC.
don't-
Like nigga, quit giving us
But
unfinished
usually
shit.
once we get that, whatever they promise, because people usually are good about delivering on like that type of shit. Once they do that, I feel like we kind of as like gamers, I feel like that's something that we have to have more discipline on, as far as like, yo, if a company really fuck us over, we shouldn't support them no more.
But like I said,
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
because gaming is different, because there's parents who don't know shit about anything, buying things. People aren't educated in a way. Like, I feel like people are the least educated. Well, I won't say. It's one of the bigger things that people have less education on.
Do you think that people would be willing to get that education?
No, because I feel like some parents just get video games to make their kids like leave them alone, so they'll get them whatever they asking for. You know what I'm saying? As long as they haven't heard about it on the news or some shit.
So that's
I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like it can change. That's because a lot of we not the only ones. We not the informed buyer. Like on this show, like us, we don't make up the majority of who's buying these games. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when we all go through that shit when we kids, our parents buy us the shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know for sure mom and dad ain't know shit about, like, they know like this Mario or this Sonic or some shit like that. Like, this shit cool. You know what I'm saying? I seen a commercial for it. But I don't think mom and dad was like looking up to see like shit about Shigeru Miyamoto. And
I mean, even back then, it's like, I feel like it's only so much you can do with like even the graphic fidelity that niggas had back then, so you could get away with that type of shit. But I feel like
I'm saying,
me personally, I just feel like I agree with what you're saying. I just feel like there ain't no excuse for that shit. I feel like if you got a kid, that's just my like mindset in general. If you have a kid, you should, if you're not willing to consume the shit that you gonna have them look at, why are you having them look at it? Cause I'm not gonna let my, like, anytime I let my son, like, all right, if you wanna watch something, I'm gonna watch at least an episode to see, like, yo, like, what type of shit is this shit on? Like, obviously, I'm not gonna get, like, the whole feel for, like, what a show is, like, based off of that. But it'll at least give me a feel for, like, all right, is this shit on some, like, edgy shit, or is it, like...
I mean, everybody can't, because Granddad got me Grand Theft Auto 3.
I remember.
So, it was just like, yeah. Can you please
I mean,
do
you
this?
just finessed in that.
Okay, but that's what I'm
respect.
saying. Like, how many other kids like are in that situation, like where niggas got to finesse, or like I said, no man, like mom and dad ain't know nothing about them video game characters, or we playing Mortal Kombat. Like, we was playing Mortal Kombat like young as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm reading a Mortal Kombat like booklet like on the way to our cousin's house, like in the car. So I don't know. It's like, I feel like there's a large portion of the buying population that just are uneducated or lack a level of education in a way that we could mobilize all of our voices together and start telling these developers, like, stop giving us unfinished shit, or stop making us pre-order shit that you gonna patch day one. You know what I'm saying? Because that is like what it is all about. Like,
gotta
because
stop
they've been
buying.
getting off and doing the shit with the software for so long, and Google thought they could do it with hardware, basically.
Like you said, it's damn near too late. It's almost like
Or
when we tell black folk, like, hey, let's not buy shit for one day. And niggas never do it,
just
even
never
though
do it,
that would be
yeah.
a big strike to niggas. No way can you collect that many people to do it. But if
we
you
would just have to get
did,
stronger voices.
but if you
like,
did,
yeah,
you
that's
know,
what-
it would be,
My only problem,
you know, it would be
like,
crazy.
All right,
it's consumerism, man.
this is live, ain't it?
yeah.
Yeah. What's wrong?
I'ma just keep it a buck. I don't want niggas just thinking like I'm just like I don't want to take this shit further than where it need to go. Like if it's other topics and shit, because I don't want niggas thinking like I'm just on some like disagreeable shit. I'm just literally I'm trying to ask questions because I'm trying to understand like
Nah, you
my
good.
my whole shit is I don't want to just be like, yo, Google is shitty and just shit on them. Of course, yeah, they deserve that. They deserve that for sure. I'm not saying
But
like
they not a shitty company. Like I can't sit here
ain't
like
nobody
fuck
gonna
Google.
say, like,
I
these
can't do
niggas-
that.
These niggas in my
It's just
search
like, y'all
engine
made a
right
mistake.
now,
No,
like,
no, what I'm saying as far as it relates to games. Yeah, it's cool. Like, all right, we got to shit on them for what they did because they did put out some bullshit. So we definitely got to speak on it. That's not like where I'm coming from. But my thing is like, why does this shit keep on happening? Because it seemed like it's always shit where gamers in general are upset about like not getting.
Yeah, it's
the
the
thing
industry
that was
period. It's not
promised.
just them. Yeah,
Well,
it's not
yeah,
just them. It's
so
everybody
we
else
not
collective.
We're not gonna know if like niggas is just talking until like a year from now, because if somehow they rebound, that'll just show like I said, the gaming community at large is just very forgiving. Like even when I was just looking at like why people pre-ordered just like personal stories, it was just like I want to be an early adopter on some tech shit, like some next level shit, and I just feel like it's egregious where you, especially with like a piece of tech, like we've seen the Ouya, we've seen like shit just come out and just be like ass, and
So that's where like that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like
Ouya dead.
when we talk about people being uneducated and shit, yeah, there's a percentage of people that's like that, but I do feel like there's a lot more people that are educated and they just be like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna just get it because I like this franchise or something.
No facts. I
So
won't deny. Like I'm not gonna say like that's just the solution is like the segment of the community that don't know better. There's motherfuckers that know completely better who just be like fine with it because like, yo, this is the game that I love. I'll continue to buy it. But if motherfuckers really cared about shit, like the crunch that would be happening at Rockstar, you know, for the Grand Theft Auto games, niggas still cop Grand Theft Auto. It's crunch behind every fucking game that come out from them. When niggas getting overworked, niggas still buy the game.
I think it's hard to when you talking about people getting overworked. It's hard to necessarily put that into an argument where it's gonna make sense to a lot of people because everybody feel like they.
I'm saying what's the difference?
I'm not saying it's a difference. I'm just saying that's just like all I'm saying is I think that yeah, the company takes advantage, but the customer is setting the standard that we can just keep getting shitted on. I don't feel like
consumers are built to be like brainwashed. That's what I'm saying. That's the name of the game. That's what they trying to do. Like they trying to indoctrinate off the rip.
So am I like I guess out of line for like being on some like all right. Like I said, I don't know like how my opinion comes across, but I'm not like I'm not anti-consumer, but I also be like we can't just point the finger at the company and just be like, yo, that's it. Like it had to be some way to bridge the gap between being like, yo, y'all a shitty company for taking advantage of it and trying to figure out a way in which that's why I'm going through all of these scenarios of like, yo, like, all right, so if we did this, then what if, you know what I'm saying? Because at some point it is something that like consumers in general are going to have to take into their hands. Otherwise it's just going to keep on happening. We tried to do it in the way of like, I guess, telling the company like, yo, y'all pieces of shit, and we get varying results. Sometimes we get answers back. Sometimes we get changes. Like in Microsoft case, what you brought up, we got changes. In the case of Stadia, we not getting no communication. When we talk about, like, I tell y'all about the 2K shit every time I come in here about, yo, this shit that came out fucked up, and You know what I'm saying? They not even getting back to niggas about it. They just talking around the shit. Like, we talk about these are things that happen with every company at this point. It's not just Google. It's not just Take-Two. It's not just EA. It's every company in the gaming industry. It's not one that you can name that doesn't do this type of shit. So if that's the case, then it's like we had to, we can focus on, like, you know, like I said, Stadia deserve to get shitted on. Like, period. But I feel like it's a lot of enabling behavior by consumers. So it's just, you know what I'm saying? I guess I just kind of get to the point where it be like, I just want to figure out, like, because like I said, we're informed. We know, like, all right, this ain't really a good product. But I feel like we do got to take a little bit of extra.
Okay. All right. I feel you, but if we was talking about Stadia like months ago and you was like behind them, so do you fault yourself for being like behind these niggas like at the time?
Yeah,
so I'm saying
do.
like, but you're educated, like you're informed. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do, like, I feel like I put it much more on companies than consumers, because I just feel like they have more control over the messaging and can fool people. Like how when we was talking about it, like you thought like Google has no reason to fuck this up at the time, and they've done the same shit that everybody else doing. Like sometimes niggas be finessing us as the consumer too. And
I guess I just be trying to figure out like where, because even for me, like this is just some shit for me personally. 2K, even with me saying that, I done bought packs. I done probably bought like 10 packs like every week. You know what I'm saying? Just drop like a little $10 on packs. You know what I'm saying? If I end up having extra money, and I be like, damn, dog, like why am I giving these niggas bread knowing that like they doing whole ass shit? And it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's not me just being like, yo, like y'all niggas got it. No, like it's me too. Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I would feel like you would be more understanding of niggas like getting finesse.
I'm not saying I'm not understand. Like I understand, but I'm saying at some point we gotta figure out a plan. Like what? I'm gonna just be like, oh yeah, we getting finesse and that's it.
No.
So that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to shit on a nigga that give money to a company that they doing shitty stuff. It's just, at some point, we got to figure out how not to do that shit. Or like, all right, if we got to start supporting other companies, like, let's start naming the companies as well. Like I said, the time to shit on niggas, we gonna do it. But, like, just continue to focus on, like, the people that's doing the right shit. It might only be, like, one company. Because, like, we can say, okay, Outer Worlds came out, and that was a quality game. It came out on Game Pass. Didn't have no problems and shit. It was a smooth launch. Shit like that. We should, like, commend the niggas that did that, Obsidian, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still just, like, trying to put a light on that shit and be like, like I said, that's kind of what I said earlier. It's like we do that. Because every time we come in here, we do talk about, like, the shit that we playing.
I mean, games on crack, you know what I'm saying? We premium content.
So it's like,
in the gaming community. So,
but we had to start looking at, like, I feel like
it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the podcast, just so I could try to
let niggas know what's out there.
Yeah, like try to influence and try to amplify our voices as consumers and bring like these like stories. Like I try to check these Reddit threads, so I, you know what I'm saying, like I got like stories that other people bring, and you know what I'm saying, because we all getting finessed and we all just taking it, like we all just like
that's basically
certain point.
That's my overall thing. It's like, yeah, I just want to figure out a way where people stop getting finessed so much.
And I'm anti microtransaction. I don't spend money on like virtual currency, like just as
period.
You know, yeah, just as a rule. But my daughter has come to me, like she'll be like, "Can I get some V-Bucks?" And then I put down the money for the V-Bucks. You know what I'm saying? So we have it gets a little complicated, you know, and I wish people would be a little bit
So
more
now I gotta
forthcoming.
I gotta bring it back to it because this is another question that we had. I feel like during that episode was like, all right, it starts to sound like this is a situation where, like, for the most part, a lot of people just can't control themselves as far as they spending.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, what does the regulation thing look like now? Because it's like,
Oh, I mean, UK Parliament, I believe they're still looking into.
well, no, I mean, I know the status.
Like
I mean,
all
as
that
far
shit.
as like, how do y'all feel about it? As far as like,
I mean,
because I know a lot of the time we say like, yeah, we don't need to do government regulation because you know what I'm saying.
'Cause the government fucks
yeah,
shit
government fucks
Right.
shit up, bro.
But this is clearly a situation that like, I ain't saying.
I feel like loot boxes and microtransactions are a bigger thing, but I do see where like it's hard to do that shit with tech just because tech is just it's iterative in nature anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're always building upon a new foundation with that. So when you have products that aren't like static products that don't have like, especially right now, the growth that the modern tech product has, it gets
Right.
tough. Like it,
but really, I don't even feel like. I feel like that's a false narrative that technology really improves at the level that it improves. I feel like at this point, I was
just based on where technology is like right now compared to like when we was kids. Like
okay, yeah. If you talking about that, I'm saying like from last year to this year. Like I think we've gotten so used to the growth of technology that we just kind of assume that it's still growing at that rate. And I don't feel like for the last like few years, I don't think technology has grown at that rate. I think that people have sold us on things like 4K and even like higher internet, but we didn't had that capability for that type of internet for a while. It's just starting to be consumer, like you can have consumers use it.
that's what it's like with all tech though. It's like mass market shit, and then it's like.
But I'm saying it
The
seems
shit
like
before it
they
hit
hold
mass.
shit back like more now, and it seems like when they finally stop holding it back, like it ain't to say 4K ain't better than regular 1080p, but was 4K really the jump in quality that we expected?
On some games, yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
about
and
to
movies,
say,
yeah,
bro,
yeah. On video games, that shit be looking fucking amazing,
I was
bro.
about to say when I got my first 4K TV and I watched Westworld on it, it was.
Yeah, this
We
HDR
just kept
shit be
talking
looking.
about
I'm
that
like,
shit.
whoa, what the fuck? That shit be looking crazy, bro.
Like-
Like when I look at Star Wars
That's fair.
on Sting TV,
Yeah.
I mean, it look dope, but it's breathtaking when you come look at it on mine. Like,
Right.
damn, nigga, like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
still don't know.
saying?
Nah, that's fair.
It be, yeah.
That's a real question. I'm not asking to be like, I'm going to say no regardless of what y'all say. I'm literally asking. So if that's how y'all feel.
when you saw your first 4K like show or movie, it damn near that shit looked it looked just
looked like we
real.
was there.
Yeah, it
That's what
looked
I'm
real.
saying,
I'm
like,
like,
me and-
damn,
me
nigga. I'm like, this shit.
Me and kids
It was
kept
kind
talking
of
about
weird
that
at
shit.
first.
I guess,
Was it like that for you? It was weird for me at first. I'm
Yeah,
like, this
I
shit
mean,
look too real.
It definitely was.
Like, wait a
like,
minute.
Yo, but that's the thing. It's certain shit where, to me, 4K makes certain shit look worse to me. Like, because it does have that, like, because part of the reason why I watch movies is to get that cinematic feel. So if I'm watching something and I feel like, yo, this shit look like it's literally like I'm just staring in a window. Sometimes that take away from the experience for me. I can see where, like I said, when somebody maximizes the technology, yeah, that shit's excellent. But for the most part, most of the 4K content that I've consumed, it wasn't like something where I like basically I don't have a 4K TV. I have a 1080p. When I go and watch some 4K shit, you know what I'm saying, on a different TV, I don't watch it on my shit and be like, dog, I feel like I'm missing out on something like crazy. Like, it ain't the jump that niggas made from standard definition to HD. So I don't be, you know what I'm saying, I'm not necessarily, like, that's just my opinion on it. But, I mean, I know a lot of people that think like y'all, so it's like, it makes sense. I'm just saying, I don't know if the innovation is worth what we end up getting, what we end up having to pay for it, basically.
I mean, that's one of those things that it's hard to kind of quantify, but.
And I don't mean pay, like, I don't mean in a money term. I mean, like, just certain freedoms that we have with shit, like streaming. We don't own shit anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it really worth the, like, what's the real trade-off that we getting when we get a certain technological advancement? And could we have just kept the shit that, like, was before it?
You're taking us to a bigger not even an argument, bigger topic, a broader topic. It's just like technology, cyberpunk 2077 shit. I feel like, I don't know, like, tech is also, like, in the eye of the beholder. I feel like it's like what's worth it to, like, certain people isn't going to, because, like, if just like we're right now, like, if 4K ain't like your thing, then of course, like, you're not gonna,
it's not gonna make sense for you.
It's not gonna feel like an investment. But
yeah, a nigga had this shit didn't make sense to me, and I was sitting up here like, damn, if I worked at Verizon, I'd have to sell this bitch. How would I sell it? It was a nigga who he had a wearable speaker. It's like $400. So you put the speaker, it just kind of around your neck, and it rests on you right here, and it's flexible, and it's a Bluetooth speaker. And I'm like,
oh shit,
they would want me to sell that here. Like, hey, if you don't want nothing in your ear and want to annoy the shit out of the person next to you with this shit around your neck, I mean, but I guess for like
that's what I'm saying. But
games,
for him,
if you don't like shit on your ear, I'm like, this shit don't. So yeah, I understand certain shit. Just, you know,
shit is just
it's like, whatever.
It's
you know what I'm
be
saying?
A very specific person that needs that shit. Like, you know, like,
for
you know
fucking
saying?
400.
Like,
So all niggas crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like what you find value in personally, and that's another thing. Like, when you get into this space, like, I got a 2-in-1 laptop. Somebody might be like, yo, I don't need no fucking touchscreen. Like, that's a waste. Like, that's just a waste. Like, I'm gonna pay less for something just as fast, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't have a touchscreen. Like, but the option is there. So I don't know. Like, it's a very, I feel like, imperfect. I don't know. It's hard to kind of, like, you know, break it all down to a point where we can find a definitive answer as to what's going to get us in a better place just as a gaming community.
right.
But I do feel like having these conversations helps, you know what I'm saying, because people don't know these things just in general. Like, and if they don't know, sometimes they just don't care. Like, they don't care to question their consumer habits. You know what I'm saying?
But if that's I mean, that's what I'm saying. At some point, it had to be like, yo, bro, you're fucking dumb because you won't, like, you just refuse to, like, educate yourself about a product that, like, that, like I said, I get what you're saying, bro.
But niggas eat bad food all the time, too.
That's facts. I eat a lot of bad food.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's certain shit we know that's like, yo, bro, like, shouldn't really
But I mean,
fuck with this.
Well, yeah.
Bro,
I mean,
like,
that's
you
a,
kill
that's a fair
yourself.
point. That's a fair
if you
point.
just, like, eat a whole
But that's
bunch
what I'm
of
saying.
bullshit.
But gaming, you ain't gonna kill yourself if you take in something bad.
That's
You
what I'm
know
saying. Like, that's like the main shit.
So,
So
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can infringe on your rights. Like what you said, like with the streaming, like where we don't own our digital content library and shit like that.
I thought you was frying. We used
Oh,
you first said that.
Taking it deep. Pause. But Stadia, I don't know, man. It's
a great idea.
And like
Terrible
I said, like what I
execution.
keep
Yeah,
saying,
if it worked perfect, like you said, data caps and shit. If we ain't have all
'Cause
that,
that's the
this shit would
thing.
be
Like
awesome,
you gotta
nigga.
admit, if the shit worked how it's supposed to work, that shit.
No, that shit would be cold as hell.
Yeah,
I'd be at
so
school off
I'm
the
still not
laptop,
paying,
nigga.
I'm still not paying them $60 to play like an old Tomb Raider that been out on Xbox.
But I
You know,
wait
just
for that bitch to get
4K
crispy with some, you know
I mean,
what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
you.
Yeah, I'm not just
I
to get a
definitely
4K
feel you.
60 bump. Like I'm not gonna wait. You know,
See,
okay,
but
months
you just
for
said
that
it.
shit.
You just.
I'm
No,
ready for
4K
that type of
60
shit,
shit.
though. I'm
I'm
ready
saying
for I'm ready for this type
If
of
I'm
shit.
already on the 4K and I'm on performance mode, like I prefer performance over like the visual fidelity shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of different. Like for me,
Nah, I'm fucking with you. I
you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I guess the book is still to be written with the Stadia.
But right now, y'all niggas trash.
Niggas trash right now, and
Motherfuckers.
the
Y'all
niggas
multiplayer
definitely
is
trash.
busted. State share is busted. Crowd play is busted. They not even busted. They just not available. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe this will be a lesson for publishers and tech companies.
Maybe
Amazon.
we can send this to Google.
Amazon is working on a streaming service, and
Maybe.
it's supposed to be coming out next month.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that shit.
For
Yeah.
gaming.
Yeah, facts.
Well, not next month. Next
Next
year.
year.
Whenever
Holiday.
this xCloud shit get to going, I'll be all right.
Yeah, but what I have been hearing,
Nah,
I got an
is
invite to that beta.
Stadia.
I did too. It don't
better.
work.
Stadia's
Oh, it don't work?
I guess better than the state that xCloud is in. But I would counter that by saying that Stadia should probably have been in a beta state and had a beta prior to
Right.
having like its official, street release.
Nah, I tried to do it. It said it don't work in America for me.
Oh, yeah, I haven't
Did y'all
even
sign
tried
up at the website or you
At
just
the website.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
there's
signed
a
up.
They
website.
like, it
to
ain't
sign
available
up
in
on.
America yet. I'm like, what? I swear to God, I'll try it again.
Yeah,
I'm like, this shit's stupid because I want to
tell
do
me
that
what
shit.
I
happened.
tried to
But-
do the streaming from your console shit, and that shit was kind of hard. But my shit, I wouldn't.
That I could do. You mean like if I'm in the living room and I got the Xbox going and
You can
like
put it on
another
your
room,
phone
I
and
could put
shit.
it on. Nah, I tried to do that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work either.
Nah, I
you
got
did that?
that shit worked, but it was like it was clipping. So it's like it's just not fast enough. But I
Yeah.
think part of that is my connection. So I'm like, because I was like on a very low end of the like requirements to be able to do it.
Well,
Yeah, my shit ain't work. Why y'all niggas get to do all the cool
I
shit?
guess
They don't
the
fuck
moral
with
of
me.
the story is with the Google Stadia.
They don't fuck with me.
Humble yourselves, gamers. Just be careful. Understand that this technology, and here's another thing that I would like Stadia to do well just for the sake of gamers who've purchased games for this console, because Google, as many know, has a history of like killing off like tech, and like one of my first predictions and fears about this console was that they could take your games from you. If Stadia falls off, I highly doubt that you're getting refunds for these games that you paid for. So, like I said, be careful. If you are an early adopter, get in contact with Games on Crack. I'd love to hear a story about, just your experience and why you even decided to buy this bullshit. So, yeah. We had our deep philosophical. This is the dog episode part 2, just because we was talking a whole lot of Google Stadia. I feel like. I guess we can wrap it up, y'all.
Yeah, this shit. I'm gonna try this shit when I get back to the crib because I did all this shit that they said.
Nah, you didn't see. Nah, you
I
gotta
did
see.
all this
No,
shit.
like,
Nah, I'm
I
pissed.
did all this.
Nah, I'm pissed
I
off
did all this.
because I did everything.
I did all this.
You're already registered. Oh no shit.
Nah,
yeah.
that shit definitely hard though.
Yeah, IGN, y'all some nasty motherfuckers, man. Y'all took that money from Google, dog. Like, I hated that shit. That shit was worse than the Google being trash to me. It's like, you know this shit trash and you just put it on your website. I can't recall seeing that from.
This shit for
No,
years.
not from the. I would say IGN is the biggest video game outlet, like mainstream. Like if you look at like the numbers of what these sites do and everything,
Right.
IGN is at the top. I've never seen the top take the bag for something that
games?
was completely ass. Or somebody bring up an example.
When these niggas be doing them
Hit me.
previews and then the game end up being ass, and then they come out and they be like, yeah, we had doubts about it when we played
I feel
the
like-
test build. Them niggas definitely
No.
took
That's happened before. I'm saying with the whole platform in which
Oh,
you
yeah,
would
that's-
have
yeah,
people
that's a fact.
buying it and then buying games.
like a nigga getting an O year
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's definitely never happened.
Yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, we seen that, and that's why
They
I brought
take
up the two.
bread.
I brought up the two human shit for the
Yeah,
game
right,
informer
right.
shit to illustrate that. But yeah, Google, get it together, motherfuckers.
Cause I promote y'all niggas every day, the stupid niggas.
About to say.
So get
And-
your shit in order.
And y'all niggas shitting on us for the podcast money. I'm still upset about that, so I'm going at y'all niggas' heads until y'all give us some bread.
Bitch.
Oh God.
You know y'all hear this already.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, they hear
You know they the
everything, bro.
feds.
What the
You know
fuck?
they hear us on these mics. You know,
Yeah,
so.
all that shit.
Yeah, but
Fuckers.
yo,
You
man,
just gotta
hey,
be safe out here.
quick rapid fire, bring it back. What would you want back in gaming?
Brave Fencer Musashi.
Great fucking answer.
Can't prepare
Finish.
today. Yeah, can't prepare today, bitch. Want to have a segment every week?
Def Jam.
Got you.
Def Jam.
Def Jam. Fight for New York.
Not that icon shit.
Give me a hell yeah.
Let me get Comp versus Busta Rhymes.
Comp versus that nigga.
Maybe
Comp?
David Banner or Crow.
Nah, my nigga, Method Man. It's a go-to. Redman and Method
Nah, you
Man.
used to play with Joe Budden
Joe Budden was my
when you
nigga,
couldn't
too.
see his face.
That was, on
Joe,
Vendetta.
yeah, that shit was
Yeah.
hard.
Joe was
Joe's
crazy.
my nigga, and Sticky Fingers. I used to beat
Sticky
the shit out of
Fingers,
niggas.
yeah,
Definitely
on
was
that
Sticky
too.
confused when I
Definitely.
first seen Joe Budden because I thought this nigga was gonna be like fat or something because he wore this big ass hoodie.
Pumped. Yo, man. I miss wrestling games, period. So bring back Ukes and Aki.
What was the best wrestling game though?
What's the best, the greatest of all time?
Yeah. Come on, dog.
Here Comes the Pain. Gotta be
You
Here Comes
tripping,
the
bro.
Pain, I still got Here Comes the Pain above like No Mercy and
No
what's the
Mercy
name?
was the best.
I love No Mercy.
That was
but
definitely my.
Here Comes
my
the
number
Pain
one.
is some different type of shit, bro.
And don't sleep on WrestleMania, the
still
arcade
got
game
Here
for
Comes
Super
the Pain.
Nintendo.
Cool.
Oh, WrestleMania arcade game was a banger too. Yeah.
You remember Royal
Razor
Rumble?
Ramon, nigga. Yeah, hell yeah. Nigga, I was just thinking
That
about
was
that
a fire
shit.
game.
Like when you get the magazine cover at the end when you beat everybody and shit. Yeah, man.
Need a
Yo,
good
game
wrestling
endings
guy.
was trash back in the day. Like niggas would just say thanks for playing.
Yeah, pretty much. Thanks. Here's what you get. Pussy. That's it.
Niggas ain't even give you a new game
Here
plus.
go a
five.
Now
16.
niggas be
Here
waiting
go
on
a-
that in-game content. Like, what else is here?
Facts.
Hell
Or a
yeah.
That's what I'm
16
saying.
symbol
This is how-
password so
this
that
is
you
how
can get
gaming
past the
changes
first
over the
level
years,
next time
man.
that you play the game.
Just weird shit, man. Weird.
You remember that
things,
shit? You remember when
What?
niggas used to have to put in like symbol passwords?
Yeah, facts. Like nigga, and then you lose the password. And,
Right.
That
nigga, that used to be trash, bro. Yo, look, hey, Games on Crack, season 2, episode 11. The GOK Gang.
there you go.
Yeah, bees.
There you go.
We got bees, baby. Hey, bees is slowly creeping into that like underappreciated category. Like
He's
niggas
been
don't talk
there.
about. Bees
He been there.
Facts, he been there. But it gets worse and worse as years go by. Y'all niggas gonna respect Beanie Siegel. That nigga got like 2-3 classes.
Hey, bro, that nigga started wilding out for a while.
Oh, come on. Listen to this nigga start hating on Beans.
He did it?
I'm not talking about that because all of our favorite rappers have a wild out section of their career.
That's a real.
Especially the best ones. So, yo, GOK, y'all sign out, man.
Infinivision, smoke more weed, man. Like, what's wrong with y'all niggas?
Okay,
I like that
I like
energy.
that. I like
I've
that.
never
I like
had that
that.
type of energy over here.
Okay,
Don't talk about such things.
it's slats, man. Please yourselves more, all right? Yeah, please yourselves more, okay? You know your body best.
And yo, shout out to the team, man. We had our photo shoot yesterday. Really
Yeah.
dope. I'm just really proud of the whole squad. We making some moves.
Yeah, man, we
Krack,
going crazy,
Prodcast.
man. Year 2 about to be something nuts, you know.
2020 is
Shouts to
gonna be
Spoonie in the
excellent.
building with the Lando
Spoonie.
Magic hat on, man. I see him out here, you know.
Out here, you know, shout out to
Y'all can't see him, but you will.
you know,
in
shout
a
out to
second.
the squad, and I don't know, man. Have a good fucking day, man. Whenever you're listening to this or watching this, you know, GOK, we love you, baby.
Oh, she's a problem.
Go crazy.